So today we have the big sci-fi blockbuster of the summer. Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets is the newest film from the critically acclaimed director Luc Besson. If you don't know the name right off the bat, he's known for, The Fifth Element, the Taken series, Lucy, and The Professional. That's also a really good one. Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets is based off this French comic book from the 60s, Valerian and Laureline. It's kind of like the inspiration, kind of, for Star Wars. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but there's a lot of, similarities. If you have the time, just do a quick Google search, you'll see what I mean. Since this is finally being adapted after being around for almost 50 years, let's see how it ends up. Dane, DeHaan, and Cara Delevingne play special operatives Valerian and Laureline, who are tasked with identifying this menace that's threatening the large metropolis they go to, called Alpha, otherwise known as the City of a Thousand Planets, due to how many different species there are on it. So it's really just a race the whole movie to figure out the identity of this menace and stop them before they destroy this city of a thousand planets that holds billions of different species. So there's going to be a lot of aspects of this movie that are kind of similar to The Fifth Element, kind of due to the fact that the co-creator of Valerian did conceptual designs for The Fifth Element back in the day. So, it makes sense. But even when you take that out of the equation, all the visuals in this movie are spectacular, whether it be the futuristic tech used throughout the movie, all these large, lavish set pieces, all the different alien species. If you're a fan of the sci-fi genre, you're definitely going to enjoy those. I just wanted to get this out of the way early. I really don't think Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne had really good chemistry together. For the most part, their relationship seems pretty forced, and half the time they don't even seem like they really like each other that much. And a running thing throughout this whole movie is how Dane DeHaan keeps trying to get Cara Delevingne to marry him, and she does not sound that interested, at all, but he won't let it go. And that kind of bothered me. Part of me actually enjoyed parts of the film more when they were actually separated, because they both had their own things with different supporting casts sometimes in the movie, and those were actually, I enjoyed those more. Is that kind of weird to say, even though they're the main stars of the movie? Also, I feel like this movie would have benefited more from being shorter, just due to the fact that they crammed so much stuff in for no reason at all. And then you also got the side characters as well, and side quests. And it's just, there was no need for a lot of them. It's a common problem in movies these days, because they want to make these franchises and build them as fast as possible, and it usually almost never works. There's so many different alien species that they show in this movie that never get really interacted with at all, which is really disappointing. And I feel like they could have just cut a lot of them. Just don't pad out the runtime anymore. Plus, they could have taken down the runtime a bit just by not having all these different side adventures that have no integral meaning for the main plot of the movie. One or two of them were cool, but there's a bunch of them and they go nowhere. Although I enjoyed the main storyline for the most part in the film, a lot of parts in this movie are pretty predictable. Specifically, who's going to end up being the bad guy in the movie, and some of the parts in the climax and all that, what's going to happen. The bad guy in the movie doesn't even try to hide that he's the bad guy in a lot of the scenes. You'll see what I mean. I do want to briefly touch on the rest of the cast. Clive Owen was okay as the commander in the movie, but he was definitely one of the more weaker performances in the movie. And John Goodman has one of those blink and you miss it kind of roles in the movie, because he's in the beginning and then never shows up ever again. Rihanna's role in the movie was a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Even though she kind of just plays a space version of herself that shapeshifts, she does a really good job, even though she's only in one section of the movie and is, once again, never seen again. Also, Ethan Hawke has probably the most ridiculous part in this movie I've ever seen in anything he's ever been in, because he's this really stupid space pimp. It sounds as ridiculous as you think it's going to be. So that's another one of those stupid parts of the movie. Anyway, I'll wrap this up and give my grade for the movie. Overall, I'd have to give Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets a C-. I went into this movie with low expectations, but I did end up having some fun watching it. It's thrilling in parts. Story's kind of a mess sometimes, because they pad the runtime with all these different side stuff that has no meaning. But, it has really nice visuals. I like some of the cast. It's definitely worth checking out, but you don't gotta run out and see it immediately. You could wait around if you wanted to. But anyway, thanks for checking out my review for the movie. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know the rest. Until then, I will see you guys later.